So Isaac, thank you so much for joining us. I shared with all the stores here that I feel like a young fan about to meet her, the artist that she admires, and I'm afraid that I'm going to ask the wrong question or sound sound a little stupid. So
don't worry. Once
really,
you hear me start talking, you'll
us.
admire me a lot less. I promise.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, everyone, this is a very long-awaited session that we have with Isaac. And Isaac is 1 second, let me just share this. So can you all see my screen?
Yes. I did.
Yeah, so Isaac, he is, he's the CEO of Adventure Media Group, which is an agency here in New York.
Joan, how are you?
Hold on, let me
I'm good.
everyone so that if anyone has a question, you can unmute yourself. Right, we have people joining. Let's help them in. So Isaac is an industry leading expert in all matters that relate to pay-per-click advertising, to online traffic acquisition, to conversion and conversion rate optimization. I'm currently taking Isaac's landing page optimization Udemy course, and I think I've recommended all of you to take those courses. As an educator, Isaac has over 200,000 paying students enrolled in his full-length online courses, and his beginner's guide to the Google Ads course on Udemy has been viewed more than 850,000 times, including some people that are here on this call. He founded Adventure, the digital advertising agency in Long Island in 2013. So there's a lot of experience there. And since then, Isaac and his team, they've consulted over 450 companies around the world, ranging from businesses like us, the mom and pop stores on the high street, through publicly traded companies, including, and he's done campaigns for companies such as Forbes and one of my top favorite institutions, which is ICE, Institute of Culinary Arts. Isaac is also, he has an MA in industrial psychology, which really helps with understanding how people operate online. And he's a contributing editor to Search Engine Journal, and again, a top Udemy course. So again, thank you so much, Isaac, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and that was a very nice over-the-top introduction. They make them sound a lot more glamorous than they are, but thank you.
So we've invited Isaac today so that all of the stores that are, the stores that are on this call, Isaac, they are have different ranges of online presence. Some have only a store but not a Facebook store. They have an Instagram but not a Facebook. They're just starting to understand how to work Google. Some are deep into Google advertising. So there's a variety of questions, and I would open the stage for all the stores to start asking the questions. Unless, Isaac, you want to share anything before?
Yeah, just to get a sense of the crowd a little bit. I don't know if we could do this by just a show of hands, because I'm just trying to get my screen to show things here. It's a better view. Like how many store owners here do not yet have a Shopify store?
I'm Simply Bella from San Francisco. We don't have it, but my husband is working on it right now.
Okay, so it seems like about half don't have a Shopify store?
Yeah.
Working on it.
Okay.
We have a different website from a different, but not a Shopify, but we're in process. We started.
Okay, so we could definitely open the stages for any questions anybody might have, but just a couple things up front is just, and these are my own personal recommendations from my experience. Take them with a grain of salt. Other people might have other positions and perspectives on what's important and what would be the most important way to spend a limited budget. My sort of an expertise of ours is helping we've helped a lot of early stage companies, maybe not quite this early stage, because if somebody came to an agency and said, okay, like what should we do here? It's like, oh, well, do X, Y, and Z first, and then you'll be in a position to start spending money on advertising. But from the very outset, even if you have a website that's hosted separately, I strongly recommend opening up a Shopify account and creating a Shopify store. It's overwhelming, because if you have a lot of SKUs, that might mean a lot of photography that needs to get done. Or if you don't, maybe you have the photography. So start with 5 SKUs, start with 5 best-selling pieces. And again, like I got some background of the different businesses. I don't really know exactly the breadth and the extensiveness of all the different brands that you guys are managing. But work slowly on building up the Shopify store. Now is a good time to start with Shopify, because Shopify is offering an extended 90-day trial because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's something which is worth considering. So you get into the trial now, it's 90 days, you don't have to pay. Shopify, you could use something like Squarespace also, and BigCommerce as well, but I strongly recommend Shopify. It's relatively cheap on a monthly fee for the paid version. You're going to need the paid version because the paid version allows you to install the Facebook store app that Shopify develops. So it's a Shopify app. And the reason why I suggest Shopify is just in general is that it's very, very much built for small businesses who are trying to sell online. And they make social selling very easy. They make running promotions like limited time offers and countdown timers very, very easy. Much easier than lots of different tools. And I'm going to talk about a couple of important things to do on your Shopify site in a second. It's better to launch with fewer SKUs than to wait and launch with your whole catalog. Just get going. Just whatever you have, you should block out 4 hours of your time, and you should have a store built with 5 SKUs. There's no coding necessary, no developer necessary. Just get the trial, just do it. Don't worry if your photography is not amazing. It's more important to just be up there, because you guys are dealing with like relatively niche, unique fashion. So you have your market anyway. So it's not about like having the best picture or whatever. And like that could all come later. So take advantage of that 90-day trial. So they make it very easy to sell on Facebook. And a lot of sales for our clients who are selling on Shopify take place on Facebook. So when you install when you install the Shopify Facebook app, you could launch a Facebook store through your Facebook business page. So you have a Facebook business page set up, and when you connect the app, people browsing on Facebook who are scrolling through your feed, and your friends and your family and your friends of your family and the family of your friends, which is, I always say, is how you start your business. Those are the people you tap into. And they are they're able to cycle through your products within Facebook. And you don't, if you have the Shopify store set up in the Facebook app, you don't need to do anything else. Facebook will take all that information and build a mobile responsive store. And it's excellent to be able to offer your customers the ability to browse on Facebook, because even though Shopify is mobile responsive and all that, that's great, but Facebook just does a very, very good job at making the shopping experience work on a mobile device. They could literally check out up until paying you, where they open up a Shopify window. It all works really well. They could go to categories, they could filter by color, they could see what sizes are available, so on and so forth. It's really good. And that's a way to start promoting, getting some traffic to your products for free, because we could talk about digital advertising, and we will, for those of you who are running shopping campaigns and search campaigns and social campaigns, and there's paid advertising across Facebook, Instagram, influencers, Google, etc. But the best way to start, especially when we're not dealing with enormous budgets, is you promote your content organically. So you have a cool outfit, and you take a picture on your phone of somebody wearing it in the street, whether it's a family member or whatever, a friend, and you write something that's timely. I mean, honestly, the best thing to do is to write something controversial. Okay, so controversial content will do the best. You'll get the most people to dislike you, but you'll also get the most people to like you, right? So if you have the stomach to get involved in hot button issues and promoting the shutdown or taking a stand against the shutdown, whether it's big government or small government, left or right, it doesn't matter. As long as the more people you offend, the more people, and I don't mean offend in a nasty way. I mean like in a offend in a nice way, if that makes any sense, or let's say in a not personal way, because people might not may disagree or agree or disagree with your policies or your attitudes, but you'll also find a really strong base of people to rally around you and buy your products because they want to support you and who you are, right? So companies who have a strong identity are the ones who do better, especially online, because we have clients across the political spectrum. So we have clients that are very, very left. We have clients, and it doesn't necessarily reflect in their products. Sometimes it does, but we had a client who was selling very right-leaning products about the virus and about Trump, so on and so forth. And like they were just doing, it was just that business was printing money on Facebook, which Facebook is a very, like, in terms of their policy, it's much more left-leaning. But they were using Facebook and it was a gold mine. It was just, we couldn't count the cash fast enough, the amount of money that they were selling for these like stupid glasses with like tweets and Trump slogans, things like that, and barware, whatever. Now, same thing is true for products that are like, we've had a client that we used proceeds to support immigrants at the border. And a campaign like that just generates awareness. And yeah, you're taking a side, you're making a statement, you're going to offend some people. People are not going to agree, but that's how you do well on Facebook without having to spend a lot of money on advertising. So you take, I don't think you have to write something in terms of a headline or a caption that just describes the clothing. You could, which is good, but tie it into something political, tie it into something how you're feeling. Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling like, these are all things that I felt over the last few weeks, like depressed, alone, anxious, stressed, on the verge of, snapping, what's going to happen with my company? Can I find new clients? Then I swung to feeling really excited. I signed a new client and like everything's looking really positive. I haven't had to lay somebody off, and like talk about that, talk about your feelings, whatever. Like you guys know how to do that. So, and then you have a picture, right? You're also posting your product. And you're like, check out my store. I just launched it. It would mean a lot to me to check out this really unbelievable fashion, and there's an awesome story behind it. And you start getting people to share interesting finds and things like that. And that's really good. So that's the Facebook selling part. On the Shopify side, there's a few easy apps. Like there's a called Ultimate Checkout Boost. It's a free app to download. There's a paid version, and if you have the budget, it's like $20 a month, you should buy it. It allows you to easily add things like countdown timers. So you're running a special sale. You should always be running, especially at the beginning, grand opening countdown timer sale or coronavirus relief sale, whatever it is. Like just run a sale. People like sales. So I don't know your margins, right? So if you need to increase your list price so you could drop it back down to what you want to make because it's a sale, do it. And if you think people don't fall for those tricks, it's not true. The biggest companies in the world know that people do fall for those tricks, and people do like to get a sale. So use countdown timers and make it actually legitimate. So when the countdown timer runs out, it's a 24-hour sale. There's no more sale for the next 2 days. So when the customer comes back and say, I missed the sale, well, okay, you missed the sale. And then you'll have another one next week. Use things like scarcity, where you have the same app allows you to put in stock counters on every product page. Hurry, there's only 7 of these left in stock, right? Those things work. Like we see this stuff working with big companies that are doing, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue from Shopify sales. So scarcity works. Whatever your shipping thing, like you should really ideally offer free shipping if possible, and build in the shipping costs into the price of the product and price of the clothing if you can, because people are just really today not used to paying for shipping. So offer free shipping if you can. And if it is free shipping, then you again, these Shopify apps allow you to do this so easily, which is why I recommend Shopify. It puts in a little like truck with showing it moving quickly, says free shipping. And the Shopify apps will actually output. You tell the Shopify app how quickly you ship. Do you ship in 2 days? Do you ship in 4 days? And it will show the customer order within the next, like Amazon does this, right? Amazon says if you order within the next 17 hours, you'll get it on this date. So Shopify, you could do that too for your own store. And it's just an app. You just click and you're good to go. So Shopify has all these really cool plugins. It's really fun to have a Shopify store. I wish I had a Shopify store. But those are some things with getting started with really no money. I mean, or very little money, because you have the Shopify trial. Even if you don't use the trial, it's $20 a month. You have a few apps you're going to spend, across all your apps, you might be spending $20 to $50 to $70 a month on the Shopify apps. The Facebook selling app is free, and start every day. Twice, 2-3 times a day, you're posting to Facebook, and if you're not familiar or used to posting on Facebook, your first handful of posts are probably going to be poor engagement. That's fine. You don't get any penalty. You don't have any. You're not penalized with any poor business outcomes or if you do bad work at the beginning. So be willing to do bad work at the beginning, and then you'll see, and you'll get a sense over the course of 2 weeks, you'll get a sense of what posts, what kind of content is touching a nerve with your followers. And the best thing you could do is spark a debate. So if you could put like you're selling some crazy hat or a cool vest or whatever it is, and you spark a debate with that, with a link to your product, it's the best thing you could do, because Facebook's algorithms are designed to more heavily promote content where people are commenting on, because that's a sign to them that this is an engaging, interesting post. You have to be careful, because Facebook, depending on what you're posting, because Facebook could remove something if it violates policy, but okay, so it gets removed. Anyway, I guess we could take some questions now.
I have a question.
Sure.
Hi, Isaac. Thank you so much. A very general question. So first of all, I love your attitude. It's so easy. 1, 2, 3, and I have a Shopify. Fine. And I take it to the 4 hours thing. Okay, it's on. I have a group on Shopify. What's the best, it's a general question. How will be the best way to put it out there to reach out as many people? What will be your first strategy as a beginner?
Okay, it's a good question. So the first thing I would do is make sure I have my Facebook page set up, a Facebook business page, connect it with Shopify's Facebook shopping app to Facebook. So now I'm able to pull in my products that I uploaded on Shopify, and I could have a Facebook store as well. That also connects to Instagram. I would start with daily posts. Twice a day, I'm posting different products, and I'm asking people organically to come check it out. Then I'm going to Instagram, and I'm posting separately on Instagram. And I'm posting links either to my Shopify store or to my Facebook store. And I'm doing one post a day on Instagram. If you're ready to put some advertising budget behind it, I would start off with Facebook advertising, where you give, let's say, $20, $30 a day budget. There's a setting called Campaign Budget Optimizer. Use it. Use Campaign Budget Optimizer. We don't need to go into details on what the engine of that is. It's not relevant. Let Facebook optimize placements. So Facebook will allow you to exclude placements. They'll allow you to exclude Instagram, exclude the display network, exclude Messenger. Don't exclude anything. Let Facebook use their machine learning, because the broader you are with targeting on Facebook, the more Facebook could optimize for like the lowest hanging fruit. So if you're going to spend only $20 a day or $10, $15 a day, Facebook will try to find you the cheapest possible conversions or clicks first. And the less constraints you put on their platform, the more likely they are to get you those cheaper clicks. So, it doesn't matter where the ads are showing up, unless for you, it matters for some external reason. Now, a couple other things. Make sure you're using what's called catalog ads. So catalog ads are going to be ads that pull the images and the prices and the data from your Shopify feed, from your Shopify store. So catalog ads are very simple and easy to use, because you don't need to, you might have 100 different SKUs, or even if you have 10 SKUs or 5, you don't need to design separate ads for all of those SKUs, because you have the image already from the website, you have the price, you have the description, you have the title. And then Facebook really is going to optimize, and they're going to choose what product they show to what user. That's how catalog ads work. Now, you could eventually get a little bit more advanced or granular, where you have a really cool piece of photography around a certain piece, right? And you want to have that be the image of the ad, because you think it's a very, very powerful story that image tells. No problem. You could do that. And then you could pick your audience, and then you could pick your budget, and you could pick which product it goes to, and so on and so forth, and all of that good stuff. Here's a couple things though. Once you start going into traditional image-based ads, video-based ads, the call to action, the button where a person clicks and goes somewhere, is going to have to send the traffic to your Shopify store. I don't know of an obvious way, or if it's possible, to send traffic from a Facebook ad into your Facebook store. Although I thought there was a backdoor way of doing it, but it wasn't simple. And I think it's Facebook's way of telling you they want you using catalog ads, because when you use catalog ads, when you click the button, when a person is looking through their Facebook feed and they see your ad and they like what they have, and you click the button, it doesn't send the traffic to Shopify, which is really what you want. It keeps the traffic inside Facebook, because it's a better user experience. So catalog ads, Campaign Budget Optimizer, use your sales and promotions. Make sure you have the sales and promotions running inside the ad copy and the title and the headline. And that's how I would start. Just and continue to your organic posts, right? So every day, make sure you're not letting a day go by without doing your let's say 1 or 2 posts on Facebook, 1 or 2 posts on Instagram, and over time, even if you keep it in a very simple Google sheet or Excel spreadsheet, you do amount of comments, likes, right, engagements in the title of your post, and then you could make your own, like, how, depending on how ambitious you are, you could make a rubric of like, was this post funny? Was this post political? Was this post personal? And you could tally it up and see which ones of yours are getting the most types of engagement, and everyone will have a different output.
All right, thank you. Yeah, Sandy,
Yeah.
unmute yourself. Oh, I'm sorry, you are. Go ahead.
I am. Isaac, thank you. I wanted to ask you, you said, you know, on Facebook, you kind of implied asking people to share, you know, to share onto your Facebook. What I see is it goes into something called visitor post, and I don't understand how, I mean, it just sits in there in that visitor post spot. How do I make it go on to the actual page?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. Visitor, I've never seen that visitor post.
Yeah, like somebody sends me in some form, is able to get something sent to my business page,
On
but
Facebook?
it doesn't share onto the face of the page. It goes into a category that I can see called visitor post. I don't understand how to make that show onto my business page. If somebody does that on my personal page, it just goes right onto it, you know, goes right onto the feed.
Is there?
That's not what I want.
So if you,
And much of the time, we don't really want those things. They're from people that mean nothing to us. They just have an option to hijack someone else's page.
No. I mean, like, I get things from people like, she's in Paris and she sends me this picture and I want to put it on that page, but it just,
I get solicitations. Yeah.
Yeah, Isaac, do you know what Sandy is talking about?
yeah, I think so. 1 second, I'm just looking it up again.
like John Way sent me something, but it doesn't go onto my page. It just goes into this
So you
visitor
can change your
post.
settings around. I'm going to put, yeah, I'm honestly, I'm the furthest thing from a Facebook expert. I'm just letting you know, everybody, now. So,
Okay.
but here's, I'm going to post a link in the chat. Okay.
Okay.
This explains that that's a setting that you
Yeah.
can modify, a setting that says if somebody does post something to your page, you could change the settings that would allow you to approve it, and then on a post by post basis, share it with the rest of your page. So that it looks like that your question's answered in that article over there.
Okay, thank you.
Isaac, what do you
Just
say on-
clarification, Isaac. Marina has asked if you were referring to boost posts or to Facebook paid ads in your earlier discussion.
So if you want to do catalog ads, right, which is what I would recommend to start with at a low budget, because the catalog ads just have a lot of automatic optimizations running under the hood, then that's not boosting post. That's running Facebook ads to Facebook ads. Facebook has a lot of these overlaps, right? So like boosting a post really is running, like if you boost a post and then you go into your Facebook ads manager, you'll see that campaign. So it's to me, like boosting a post is just a faster way to launch a Facebook ads campaign with like a dumbed down, simplified setting panel. So there's nothing wrong with trying to boost a post, especially if you think it's a really good post and you want to just quickly get it out there for 15 bucks, go for it. Click that post, boost it, pick your audience and go with it, see what happens. So I'm referring to really either one, but if you are gonna do catalog ads, that's something which has to be set up through Facebook Ads Manager.
Okay, I have a quick question about boosting.
About, I'm sorry, about what?
About boosting
Okay.
on Facebook or Instagram. Is it better to boost if you're doing, for example, for $30? Would it be better to do it for 6 days at a smaller budget per day, or bigger budget per day but shorter period?
That's a very, very good question. And it's not a clear answer. It depends. There's just so many factors it depends on. But see, if I was doing this for a client, I would probably recommend them spend more money in less time, because that will allow us to get data to optimize off of better. But if I was recommending to you, I would probably say spread your data over the course of a week. So if you're going to spend, let's just give example, $10 for 10 days, do that instead of spending $100 over the first day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Spread the budget.
Thank you. Anyone else? I'm looking at hands. Go ahead. Yes, unmute yourself, Janet.
Can you
Okay,
hear me?
thanks.
Okay.
Great.
When you were talking about setting up Shopify, you kept referring to the app, but you're working on a computer, aren't you? Not on a phone. Phone apps only are on phones. Applications are on computers.
Okay, fair enough. Shopify calls these things, Shopify has something called an app store. It's just what they call it. So putting aside the nomenclature for a moment, when I say Shopify's Facebook app, I'm referring to a desktop experience where
Okay.
you're in the Shopify app store, you connect that app to your Facebook store, yeah.
Okay. And then also, where are the stores you talk about shopping on Facebook? Like, where do I look to see on Facebook where you shop? Is it just the postings that are these shops?
No, so let's say you're a consumer, right? Let's say,
Yeah.
for example, you're a consumer. And I don't know, there's a, let's just take, I don't know, J. Crew, right? So you go to J. Crew, you search Facebook for J. Crew, and you land on J. Crew's business page. If J. Crew has a Facebook shop set up, there will be a button at the towards the top of their profile that will say shop. And then if you click shop, you'll go into J. Crew's Facebook store. Right, so that's like a traditional way of finding a Facebook store. You might be scrolling through your feed, and you might see what looks like a link to a store, and that's really a Facebook ad. It could be something sponsored, where people are getting marketing their Facebook stores to you. This is different than the Facebook Marketplace. Like Facebook business stores are not. The Facebook Marketplace is more of like a Craigslist, eBay type of environment. Facebook stores are attached to your Facebook business page, where if somebody comes to your Facebook business page, they could then navigate into your Facebook store.
They would just add stores to your listing on the left-hand side,
Exactly.
where it says posts, stores, videos, reviews, and
Correct.
that's where store would be. Okay.
Correct. In a desktop environment, yeah.
Yes, Sandy.
I had another question, regarding merchandise. From time to time, in a kind of really weird, random way, I get this thing that it shows on my Shopify. I think it's Google is not allowing this product. Do you know what I mean? It's not allowing this product to go on to anywhere. And I mean, it's weird. I mean, is it because it's a sleeveless thing? I mean, I don't understand, what the parameters of that are and why they do that.
So you're talking now about shopping campaigns on Google, like trying to sending it from
No, I'm
Google?
talking about on my Shopify site. Sometimes there'll be an item. Let's just say it's a dress. And for whatever reason, on this thing, it shows me a little window. It says Google is not allowing this to be on, go out there onto like Facebook or, Instagram or wherever. It's staying on Shopify, but it's not allowing it to go somewhere else. What's up with that?
It's very unlikely it's because of the dress itself. I would say it's almost impossible that that's the case.
Yeah.
Well, it's likely something wrong with the data. So Google has a whole specific set of parameters that need to be accurate before they allow it to be indexed for Google search engines, whether it's Google Shopping campaigns or it's just Google Shopping organic, whatever. So there needs to be like an item ID. There needs to be a GTIN. There needs to be an image with an appropriate link. There needs to be images are not allowed to have watermarks. It needs to be a title and description that's formatted properly. So it's very possible that just in the back end of Shopify, when you uploaded this item, you just don't have either you're missing data that Google wants you to have, or there's data that you put that is in Shopify that somehow is being read inaccurately. So those are usually the issues there.
So weird, right? Because we do it all the same.
Isaac, I have 3 questions, if that's okay.
Do it.
So one is there a formula for success? Meaning, do I need to have Facebook page, Facebook group, Google advertising, Shopify store, and something else, and retargeting to be successful? That's the first one.
There are formulas to success. I don't know them, and there's probably many of them. But one of them certainly is a Shopify store,
Okay.
a Facebook store.
Say it, wait, slowly. All right.
a Shopify store, a Facebook store, which is connected to Shopify through Shopify's Facebook app,
Mm-hmm.
either an existing network of followers or people who are engaging with your content, or you start building it. You build it with good engaging posts. I see somebody put, I'm looking at the comments, Gloria writes, please do not turn my shopping experience into a rant for your political views. I am personally attracted to sites with beautiful images and lack of controversy. That's good. So some people will be attracted to websites with beautiful imagery and a lack of controversy. Absolutely, that's like a big swath of the population. A lot of people will be attracted to sites that are very politically charged, right? People have different preferences. So if you're gonna go the route of serenity, then you gotta be very good there. So your photography has to be really good. So you have to, whatever you're doing, do well. And you'll have people who are interested in it. Where was I? Okay, so you have the Facebook, and then the next step is if you have budget to run, let's say Facebook campaigns through catalog ads or standard Facebook ads, and there's lots of interesting tools. Like there's a lot of like mobile apps that allow you to take images you have and create nice 15-second videos, and those could work well with Instagram stories and Facebook stories and Facebook video ad placements, which turn up the feed. So Facebook ads is a complicated software with lots of different options. But you don't need to get that complex in order, because it gets really, your product's going to sell itself, right? Like a better ad is not going to overcome a poor product or a bad price.
Mm-hmm.
So the product's really going to sell itself. You guys are in fashion, so fashion is totally visual. Like it's not totally visual, but it's very visual, and it's really got to be your product and the product pictures have to carry your 85% of you through to the sale. And the rest is just making sure that people can find you and people can check out and the price is right and you offer, whatever guarantees and returns if necessary and so on and so forth, like regular online shopping.
So historically, and throughout different stores, I've seen that Google ads perform really well versus Facebook ads. Would you recommend? Do you have a preference between the two?
I haven't seen necessarily Google ads to do better than Facebook ads for every industry or even retail. I would recommend Google ads as well, but not Google shopping campaigns. So again, Google shopping campaigns, but like it's a very, very different market because Google's going to start showing your ads to people who search for specific things. So I don't think, my sense is that if you're talking about, like, if you're asking me how to spend my first $1,000, it wouldn't be on Google ads because I could be totally wrong here. My sense is that you don't want to show your products for when somebody search for women's sweater, because the chances of a random woman searching for women's sweater looking for your product is very, very low, because maybe they're looking for something from it could be that it's like less than 1%, because you guys are in the niche fashion industry where you're going to be able to visually communicate what you're selling on Facebook a lot better.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean I wouldn't recommend testing Google ads. I would, like Google Shop, you go to Google ads, sign up for an account. Shopify makes it very easy to send. You're going to have to use something called Merchant Center to send your Shopify feed to Google Merchant Center, which allows it to be advertised on Google ads. And then inside Google ads, you can launch a shopping campaign. And there's all different ways to manage the shopping campaign. But again, it's just starting very slow and seeing any sales come through. But again,
I know, I mean, for my experience with different stores that are here on the call, I know that Google Ads has worked well. So it's good to know that Facebook can perform as equally well. The last question is, a lot of people here on the call have databases of who's currently active on their stores and those that have unsubscribed and people that that are on acquisition that they keep added to the database. So what's the audience that you would focus on? Your current shoppers to make sure that they buy more, or the ones that have unsubscribed to try to get them back, or focus on making the new ones shop?
I don't know.
I would focus no effort on trying to get people who have unsubscribed back. That's the first thing.
Right.
Now, the second thing is an interesting point you bring up with your existing shoppers. Now, if historically you have a good amount of repeat purchases, or if products lend themselves to, I don't know the business that well, right? I imagine if you're selling wedding gowns, right, it's probably not a huge amount of repeat purchases from one customer. If you're selling like accessories, essential accessories at a low price point, like undershirts or leggings, or I don't know, but like, okay, then that lends itself to expected repeat sales, and we should invest in trying to get the customer back. But you should really try to avoid paying additional advertising costs to get a customer back. You should have loyalty programs, rewards points, emailing the customer, Facebook messaging the customers after 7 days after they purchase, right? You should be doing things that are organic in nature to continue to engage your customers. Offer them a subscription. If you're selling, I don't know what you guys sell, but if you're selling shoes, say, okay, like you need a new pair of shoes every 6 months. I don't know. Women need a new pair of shoes every 6 days. So then it's like, here's a subscription model. So you pay us X amount of dollars every week, and you could get a new pair of shoes twice a month. Whatever. So do things that don't come up with ways that won't cost you more advertising dollars to get a second sale from an existing customer.
Okay.
But here's how you use that information, right? So how many of you, I guess, have a list of email addresses of people who have purchased from you? Okay, almost all of you. So that that's a very, very good, that's very good data. Because what you want to do with that is use what's called lookalike audiences on Facebook. Now, lookalike audiences is relatively new, not so new, but it allows you to upload a list of your email addresses into Facebook, right? You take an Excel file, Facebook will show you how to format it. And you can even put the value. If you have enough, you could say this person, you could attach next to the email, you say how much money did this person spend with me? And you want that data to be accurate. And you upload that to Facebook. And you tell Facebook, I'm targeting the United States. And you give a percentile. You say, okay, start off with the 1% because it's the narrowest. Find 1%, look at the whole United States population. Let's say it's 300 million people, or maybe Facebook, on Facebook, maybe it's like 250 million people. Out of those 250 million people, find me the 250,000 people who most represent this list of email addresses that I gave you. Now, how does Facebook do that? That's because they're Facebook. So when you upload a list of emails to Facebook, they know where these people live. They know how many cars they own. They know if they drive the kids to soccer practice on Tuesday evenings. They know if there's a second house in the Hamptons. They know GPS data. They know credit card data. They know where you've flown. They know what you've bought. They know who you've spoken to. So they'll do a relatively good job at looking at, and you have to have like, you really want to have at least 100 people in this list that you give to Facebook. But they're going to start looking for common denominators amongst your customers. And they're going to say, okay, we're going to target ads to people who we think are similar. It's a very, very good thing to try. So if you have existing, that's the best way to use your existing customers. You give that information to Facebook or to Google, you can do this. And they start using that information to try to find similar people to show your ads to.
Isaac, you have a lot of questions in the chat.
Isaac, how do you manage your day with, I feel like for many of the stores here, it's a one-man show or two or three, and you gotta get up and do your Facebook page, your Facebook group, your Google advertising, your shopping advertising, your Google Analytics, your traffic, your customers. So how do you manage your time in your day to make sure that you're planning, executing, and tracking everything?
It's impossible. It's
Okay.
basically impossible. But what you have, I don't know, like what you have to do is you have to, like you have to block off time and nothing else matters. Like like nothing else besides for life and death of an immediate family member. Like life and death of a friend doesn't matter. I have to make my Facebook store. I'm kidding, but like you have to take that attitude. So it's like today I have like, a bunch of different things to do. And right now I have this time blocked off and like, this is what I'm focusing on. And this is, you compartmentalize other things, and it's not an easy thing to do. It takes practice. You have to if you're working on your Facebook store, do not have your phone on. Do not have your messages up on your computer. Do not have WhatsApp. I'm not being judgmental. Like we all have families and we all have things that are important, but like to the greatest extent possible, remove all distractions, say these 30 minutes are blocked off. I cannot be bothered by anybody. It doesn't matter if the world burns down around me. It's the attitude you have to have. It's like almost like an isolationist, narcissistic type of attitude, but like that's the attitude you have to have.
There are two questions on the chat.
I'm coming right back. I have to open the front door to my office. Just give me 1 second.
Sure.
Yeah, and then Isaac will go back to the chat questions. We see like
Yeah, there are two chat questions.
Yeah, he will cover it.
And just everyone, while Isaac is off, the Facebook email list, it's a list of your customer that you're uploading to the ad center. If there's a need and you would like to see it, we can deep dive into that next week. We can do that. Some of you have mentioned that that you feel like it's a violation of privacy. It's your customers, by giving you their email, have agreed to receive marketing from you. So they gave their consent to use the email, and it's a valid. No, Isaac, did you?
Yeah, I agree with that. But even more so, Facebook anonymizes all the data. So
right.
Facebook, there's two things you have to remember. A, Facebook is anonymizing the data. Also, you're not targeting those people. When you give a customer list to Facebook, you're actually actively excluding all of those people from being shown ads by default. Facebook by default will use that as an exclusion list and will only be targeting other people that they think look like them.
Thank you. What are the other?
But then they have all of those emails to use in a different way, whatever they choose to do with it. So that
right.
just feels.
If you feel that Facebook is going to be dishonest with how they use the information, then that's a fair concern. But it's just a matter of, do you trust Facebook or not trust Facebook?
Go ahead. We have other questions on the chat, Aline or Isaac.
Yeah, Andrea had a very question that she's asked and raised before. Would you suggest and recommend using the Google Smart Ads through Shopify built-in automation, or creating your own campaigns?
I'm always an advocate for doing it on your own, where you have the most amount of customizability. You also then run the risk of getting into like complications, and there's a lot of things that you're gonna have to learn about. So it's a trade-off. But if you have the time and you're looking towards, like, if your attitude is really like, over the next 10 years, I want to be active on Google Ads and have really good campaigns and know what I'm doing, then take the time to learn it.
Yeah, and yeah, Andrea, you're actually doing it. There's another question that I'm really curious about from Leah. She would like to hear your opinion about using Wix instead of Shopify. So she's been a very competent Wix commerce user. Facebook, Instagram shops, everything is linked, MailChimp as well. And she's working to increase conversions, and very curious to know if you,
yeah, that's
if Shopify will offer resources that will absolutely affect the conversion of Wix platforms.
And can you mute everyone, Aline?
Yes, I'm going to mute everyone. Isaac, just 1 second, then I'm going to unmute you as well. Yes, Isaac, you're on.
Okay, sure. It's a very tough question, very tough, because on one hand, you have a lot. I don't really know that much about Wix, right? But you have everything in place, and it obviously is working. You're making sales, and to switch to Shopify, first of all, it's a massive undertaking. It's a huge pain. It's a pain in the neck. Bye, I'll see you later. It's a huge pain in the neck. And like, why would anyone want to suffer that way with having to switch from Wix to Shopify? But then you're asking, like, is Shopify going to
really push it? I mean, we're very much encouraging Shopify here in our sessions, just because everyone has such a great experience, and I would be curious to know if I should move my WordPress or my Lightspeed into Shopify.
I would definitely not recommend having any e-commerce like system on WordPress, just because, like, unless it's super custom. If you're using something like WooCommerce,
yeah,
WooCommerce is really not a shop. It's fine, but it's not nearly as good as Shopify. And I would say like a Squarespace or a Wix e-commerce system is probably even better, because it's just going to run smoother. But anyway, again, like, that's not my area of expertise at all. Like, it's really not. But I would say, in terms of Shopify, the main value of Shopify over Wix is that they have the apps that are like, it's why the Apple App Store did so well, like in the beginning, early days, before the Google Play Store had all the apps, is because, like, you wanted to buy an iPhone because you had these apps, right? Like, the fact that, like, the hardware wasn't as important. It's like, look, I have the App Store. So the Shopify App Store is really good. And when a developer builds a really cool shopping experience app, they're going to build it for Shopify. So the countdown timers, the scarcity, in your checkout process, you could have an additional coupon for 3 minutes. Check out within 3 minutes, or you're going to lose this extra coupon. Sharing your checkout, like after somebody checks out, you have buttons. Share this on Twitter, share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram for an additional 5% on your next order. This stuff is just so natural to Shopify, and like you don't have this type of flexibility with Wix. So yeah, there are going to be things on Shopify that will absolutely improve conversion rate. I can't make a definitive suggestion based on your specific unique experience whether or not it's worth it financially, time-wise, emotionally, psychologically to have to switch your store right now. But out of 2 ideal scenarios, I would say for you, a small e-commerce boutique is better off being on Shopify in the long run.
Isaac, I have a question for you about that. Switching from Magento to Shopify, and I have a team at Shopify, and they sent me a contract that's 12 pages long and quite, well, it's written in Shopify's favor. Have you heard of any clients that have had problems with Shopify?
I doubt you're getting a contract. You're getting a contract from Shopify or a Shopify developer.
Nope, Shopify. And,
doesn't make sense. So can you show me? So can you show me a picture of it? Show me what it looks like.
I could email it to you later. It's buried here on my desk. It's 12 pages long. And so they talk about being month to month, but when you read this contract under the terms of agreement, it says that they, you know, if you have any dispute with any Shopify person or any disagreement, that they can shut your store down.
What's the contract for?
For having a store there. And, you know, we were working with 2 Shopify experts and things were going really well. And then they said, okay, you know, we're going to move your site. So before we do that, we need you to sign this contract. And it was 1 page with links to other pages, to these 12 pages, which link to lots of other agreements, which are really, and, you know, I've worked a lot in contract law, and it's the worst contract I've ever seen.
This sounds very fishy to me. I wouldn't sign anything. I wouldn't use it. I don't think it's from Shopify. It doesn't make any sense to me that this is from Shopify. Shopify doesn't.
Do you want to send it over and we'll connect you with Isaac?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Sure. I mean, I'm 99% sure that it's just a scam. And what you want to do is just find a local Shopify designer, not even a developer, because like a proper designer will just build you a nice template that using an existing template. They'll upload your products. They'll make it look good.
Well, and that's fairly easy to do, but our concern is, will we lose, because we've been up since 1995 and we're currently on Magento, will we lose our SEO juice if we just build a new site instead of move the old site?
I'm not an SEO expert, but as long as you have all the same URLs, Google should see the redirect and just change.
But the URLs will change just because it's not Magento, it's Shopify, and the mapping will be different.
Why will they change? Is it not on a custom domain?
It will, well, no, it is a custom domain, but won't the / be Shopify?
No, if it's a custom domain, a Shopify store will not have Shopify in the URL at all.
Okay.
So fundamentally, Google doesn't care SEO-wise if your site's on Shopify or Magento.
I think some of us have misunderstood between Shopify and your own website. I mean, if you have a website already, it doesn't matter. You just do another Shopify. Am I right? I mean, you don't have to convert your current URL website to Shopify.
You don't, but then where are you going to send traffic to? Like, that's you have a name of your store, yeah, right? Something.com.
Because Shopify is so good, so easy, I will send all the traffic to Shopify, but I mean, it won't cause me any damage if I keep my current website.
Well, where's your Shopify? What's your Shopify site going to be called? Like, what's the URL? What's the address of your Shopify site? Let's say your current site is.
So for example, my current website is jianhui.co.uk.
So what will your Shopify site be?
And then my Shopify can be Jianhui London or Jianhui London UK or Jianhui London Shopify. Or
I don't think it makes any sense to do it that way. Like, what advantage are you getting?
Well, because my website is already done, and it costs me money to abandon it. It's just like why not just, I mean, it's there already. If I want to build a Shopify store, and if I want to invest some money on the advertisement, I will put all the effort, energy to Shopify. That's true. But certainly, I mean, why should I just?
But then you're going to have to keep. That doesn't make sense, because then you're going to have to keep two different websites up to date. You're going to have to keep two different websites with different checkouts and payment integrations. What I would recommend is keep your existing website as is while you build a Shopify site. So that gives you leeway. So that means, okay, maybe over the next 12 months, instead of rushing to get it done over 2 weeks, you have time because you have a working website, and you start transferring to Shopify slowly. And after you know that your Shopify site now looks the same, it works just as well, it has all the features that you want, then you just transfer your URL to the new Shopify site. Because I don't think it makes sense. Like if you're BMW, you need to have a separate website for different countries, but I don't see why you should be managing two different websites. I don't see any reason. I mean, there's an emotional thing, like, yeah, you spend $6,000 building a website and now it's going to be on Shopify. Okay, like you have to decide what you want to do. Like I'm not saying definitively that you're going to do better on Shopify. I have never seen your site. Your site might be really fantastic and well optimized and whatever. And so I just don't see why you would have two sites, basically.
I have questions from the chat.
Yeah,
several questions around emails.
Yeah. That's what the previous question I wanted.
Yeah, there were several questions around frequency of emails. What would be your recommendation?
Well, email marketing is like, doesn't work that well in general. But if you're sending emails once a week, you should be fine.
All right, and there's a question around Google Ads. Let me try and, okay. A question about Google Ads. In the past, we tried to pay for Google Ads whenever we tried to replicate the search and find our ad. We could never find the ad. So it seems like it wasn't working. So we stopped paying. Do you know why that is?
Yeah, because if you try to search for your own ads and you have a budget of less than $30,000 a day, there's a good chance you're not going to see your ad, because Google knows that if you're spending $10 a day, Google knows that the average click is going to cost $2. So that means you have 5 clicks, but there's 1 million impressions for searches that might trigger your ad. So Google's going to show your ad every 200,000 impressions. So unless your search is the exact 1 in 200,000 odds of triggering your ad, you're not going to see your ad. But Google has a tool called the Ad Preview and Diagnosis tool. It's a tool inside Google Ads. You could use that tool to see what searches your ads are showing up for. It's a simulated environment.
Connected to this question, when we did the Google ad, even though the Google showed us how to track our success, and according to the tracking, so many people saw it or something, but we have not got even one sale out of this Google ad out of the over 1 month of spending money. And yes, our budget was low, maybe it was $30 per day, something like that. But we did spend several hundred or maybe 1,000 per month, and we didn't get even one result. So right. What do you think that was?
I don't know. I really don't, I would have to like take a much deeper look at the account to even get any sense of where things went wrong. It could be an issue with the website. It could be an issue with the campaigns. It could be so many different things. But if that's the case, I would try to like explore more Facebook, Instagram type advertising, and it's, you know, tracking it very closely, making sure conversion tracking is set up properly, and exploring some other channels. Because it is possible that Facebook, like I said, Google might be triggering your ads for very broad searches that your products don't really fit, because Google might not get it right. I see a message here in terms of disagreeing with the email statement, because and like I said, I could be wrong about all this stuff. Like in my experience, the stuff that I do, like email marketing is not as effective as, let's say, messenger marketing or things like that. But you're right. Like if the demographic is a little bit older and people do spend a lot of time in their inboxes, like email marketing could be really, really powerful, and it's free. So like you should do it. I mean, like if you're using MailChimp for $15 a month or whatever it is, like there's no excuse not to be sending emails once a week. It doesn't cost you anything.
We can only say that also, I would say that in our experience, and maybe you're right, it's the age group, email campaigns and email at all, like works really the best. And then, you know, it's funny because we as we said, and Aline keeps telling us, all of us, it's every store will have a different recipe and the sauce.
Right.
And you have to make your own sauce.
Correct. And I send emails. I send emails all the time for my content and things like that. So like, I'm not like against emails, you know, per se.
I have a question. I see a similar question on the chat group. The question is this: on Facebook, how do I import a list of my customer email list so that I can invite them to join me on Facebook and follow me? Because I have thousands of them on my constant contact, and it's really difficult to make them follow me on Facebook or Instagram by just telling them verbally.
I'm not sure I understand the question completely. Are you talking about?
Is there a way to import a customer list from constant contact and invite them directly on Facebook to have them?
I am not sure. It's a good question. Like if I had to do that, I would probably download the list from Constant Contact first and then upload it into Facebook. You're saying I don't know if there's a direct integration. There might be. I'm not sure.
But I think the question is there a way on the Facebook page to upload your email list, contact list, or do you go to Ads Manager, upload the list there, and advertise to them?
It depends on what you want to do. So if you want to create a lookalike audience, if you want to either create a lookalike audience or a targeting audience. A lookalike audience, remember, excludes that list and tries to find other people like the people on your list. You could also target the list. You could also say, I want to show ads to these people. So either way, you have to do that through Facebook Ads Manager. If you're saying you wanted to invite people to like your page,
so they can follow me on Facebook.
That's not through Ads Manager. That would be, I'm not sure. I thought I remember there being an upload feature for Facebook business page to upload a list of contacts, but maybe not. I really don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah.
So I have the same problem with getting my customers on Facebook and Instagram. They just do not want to go on it and be followed. But if you offer them $25 or $35 or whatever you want, or even $50, the gift certificate to follow you on Facebook, that's about when I can't imagine any other way, because it's really difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
Incentive, yes.
There's another question.
Can I ask a question about Facebook group?
Sure.
So Aline advised us to create a Facebook group, which I did 2 days ago. And I like it, a lot of engagement, but with personal friends. I have 2 pages, personal and business. And now it's very disappointing that I cannot add all my followers for my business to this group. And is there a way to do it? I know Elaine told us before, no.
There is an integration between Facebook page and the group, and you can create a group for the page.
I did create a group for the page.
Yeah.
Still, I was able only to invite my personal friends.
I think in maybe for the benefit of time, and Isaac has been here for an hour, all of the technical questions of where to find the button of uploading the contacts and connecting, then I'm more than happy to help you personally. Anything that is strategic and where you should put your money, Isaac is the one with the experience. But Bella, I'll help you separately with exactly how to make sure that the people on the page are in the group.
Okay, thank you, Elaine.
Yeah, I have a call coming up right now anyway, with a client, so I have to.
Thank you so much.
I'm on the call, But I really appreciate this. It was very interesting.
Thank
I
you.
hope that some of it was helpful, and
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Isaac.
pleasure. Wishing you guys a lot of success. Stay safe and best of
you.
luck with everything.
Thank you. And
Bye.
to everyone, I really warmly
Thank
recommend
you.
to go to Udemy and watch Isaac's courses. They're the key.